If you've been saving up your animal coins, you probably know how painful it is to spend them on a class that ends up doing almost nothing for your runs. With so many options available, it's easy to get tempted by flashy perks or cool descriptions, only to realize later that they don't actually help when things get hectic. That's exactly why we put together this animal hospital class tier list. We're going to break down every class, look at what they actually bring to the table, and figure out which ones deserve your hard-earned coins. Now, not every class is built the same. Some can completely change the way you play, whether you're tackling tough solo runs or helping your team survive longer in multiplayer sessions. Others sound great on paper, but struggle to make a real impact once the patients start piling up and the pressure kicks in. So sit back, relax, and let's rank every class in Animal Hospital from the absolute best picks to the ones you can safely leave locked for now. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking classes in Animal Hospital. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, paramedic and intern. You know a class is in trouble when its biggest selling point is that it lets you cosplay as Tony Chopper. That is pretty much where paramedic lands. For 250 animal coins, you start each run with a large speed cola that has 6 uses, and every sip gives you a nice little movement speed boost. On paper, that sounds useful. In reality, it feels more like borrowing speed rather than actually owning it. The problem is that the boost disappears almost as quickly as your excitement. Sure, running faster can help you move around the hospital and react to emergencies, but the effect is temporary, and there is already a speed boost cola available in the supply shop that gives you a very similar benefit. When a paid class is competing with an item you can simply buy during a run, it becomes hard to justify spending valuable animal coins on it. Then we have Intern, the class that every player meets on day 1 and most players leave behind shortly after. It is completely free and gives you an extra 10 points of sanity at the start of each game. That sounds comforting until you realize how quickly sanity disappears once things start getting chaotic. Before long, that bonus feels like it never existed in the first place. The biggest issue with Intern is not that it is bad, but that it is forgettable. It gives you a tiny safety cushion and absolutely nothing else. No unique mechanic, no scaling value, no exciting gameplay twist. It is basically the hospital equivalent of showing up to work, doing the bare minimum, and hoping nobody notices. Between the two, Paramedic at least gives you a funny One Piece inspired look, but neither of these classes brings enough to the table to climb out of D tier. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Doctor, Psychologist, and Secretary. C tier is where things start getting a little more interesting. These classes are not powerful enough to completely change a run, but they at least give you perks that you will notice while playing. The common theme here is sanity management, which sounds boring until your character starts losing their mind halfway through a busy shift and suddenly every point matters. Let's start with Doctor. This class costs 900 animal coins and rewards you with 1 point of sanity every time you successfully heal a patient. It is a simple perk, but it works exactly as advertised. As long as you are doing your job and keeping patients healthy, your sanity gets topped up little by little. That makes the overall experience feel less stressful because you are not constantly watching your sanity bar slowly drain away. The catch is that Doctor only works when you are actually healing patients. If your team is struggling, if patients are being missed, or if you simply are not the one handling treatments, the perk does absolutely nothing. For a class that costs nearly 1,000 animal coins, that limitation keeps it from climbing any higher on the tier list. Next up is Psychologist, which might be the most dangerous class in C tier. For 500 animal coins, every sanity effect in the game gets doubled. The good news is that all positive sanity gains become much stronger. The bad news is that every negative effect gets doubled too. It is basically the class equivalent of saying, I can handle it, right before everything goes horribly wrong. In the hands of an experienced player, Psychologist can actually be very effective. If you know exactly how sanity works and can consistently collect positive sanity sources, the bonus feels fantastic. New players, however, will probably watch their sanity disappear at record speed and wonder what just happened. It has a high skill ceiling, but it is definitely not beginner friendly. Finally, we have Secretary, the budget-friendly sanity expert. For only 120 animal coins, you recover 1 sanity point every time you successfully check in a patient. In many ways, it feels like a cheaper version of Doctor. and that is exactly why it earns a spot in C tier. It is affordable, easy to understand, and great for learning how sanity management works. The downside is that once you become comfortable managing sanity on your own, the perk starts feeling less and less important. Still, for newer players looking for a reliable option, Secretary is surprisingly hard to beat for the price. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Nurse and Security. B tier is where classes stop feeling like small bonuses and start feeling like actual upgrades. These are the classes that can noticeably improve your runs without completely carrying you through the game. If you have been saving up your animal coins and wondering where the value starts to get good, this is the point where the conversation gets interesting. First up is Nurse, and honestly, this might be one of the best bargains in the entire game. For only 20 animal coins, you gain 1 extra inventory slot, which sounds tiny until the hospital starts turning into absolute chaos. When multiple patients are waiting and rooms are filling up, having that extra bit of storage can make your job much smoother. It is basically a free-to-play version of Head Nurse, and considering how little it costs, the value here is hard to argue with. The real strength of Nurse shows up during team runs. When 2 or more players bring the class, the entire group benefits from the increased flexibility. More inventory space means fewer unnecessary trips and faster patient management. It may not be flashy, and nobody is going to pick Nurse because it looks exciting, but it consistently makes life easier, which is exactly what a good class should do. Then we have Security, a class that feels completely average until it suddenly makes you look like the smartest person in the hospital. For 1,250 animal coins, you start each run with an X-Taser that has 5 uses. In the hands of an experienced player, those 5 charges can completely change how the late game plays out. Security is especially powerful in team runs, where coordinated players can get incredible value from every use. The only thing holding it back from A tier is the price tag. It is a little expensive for what it offers, and solo players will not get nearly as much value out of it. Still, if you know what you are doing, Security can make some of the toughest moments in Animal Hospital feel surprisingly manageable. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Secret Agent. Some classes make your life easier, some classes save you time. And then there is Secret Agent, a class that walks into Animal Hospital, ignores half the game's challenges, and starts making its own rules. This Robux exclusive class costs 320 Robux and gives you a gun with 20 uses right from the start of the run. Considering how many runs are ended by dangerous anomalies and monsters, having a solution that is literally just remove the problem is about as powerful as it sounds. Whether you are playing solo or racing through the game with a team, Secret Agent can turn situations that would normally cause panic into minor inconveniences. What makes Secret Agent worthy of A tier is how dramatically it changes the way you approach the game. Instead of avoiding threats, hiding from them, or carefully managing around them, you can often eliminate them outright and keep moving. That makes speedruns significantly faster and difficult encounters far less stressful. The only reason this class does not sit comfortably at the very top of the tier list is accessibility. Since it is locked behind 320 Robux, free-to-play players have no way of obtaining it. If availability were not a factor, Secret Agent would be giving the S tier classes a very serious challenge. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Surgeon and Head Nurse. When you reach S tier, we are no longer talking about classes that simply help you survive. These are the classes that make you wonder how you ever played without them. They provide value from the moment a run starts until the very end, and unlike many lower tier options, their perks remain useful regardless of whether you are playing alone or with a team. If your goal is to get the strongest possible classes in Animal Hospital, this is where your animal coins and Robux should be going. Let's start with Surgeon, which is easily the most complete free-to-play class currently available. It costs a hefty 2,500 animal coins, making it the most expensive class that free-to-play players can buy, but the investment pays off immediately. Every time you successfully heal a patient, you recover sanity and receive a movement speed boost. Those 2 bonuses cover some of the most important aspects of the game, staying mentally stable and getting around the hospital faster. The constant sanity recovery makes runs feel much less stressful, while the speed boost helps you respond to emergencies, deliver supplies, and manage patients more efficiently. What really pushes Surgeon into S tier is how well it performs in every situation. Solo players benefit from the mobility because they are responsible for everything themselves, while team players still get incredible value from the steady sanity recovery and movement boost. There is no complicated strategy required and no special condition that needs to be met beyond doing your job. Heal patients, get stronger, repeat. It is simple, effective, and consistently powerful throughout an entire run. Right alongside it is Head Nurse, the inventory king of Animal Hospital. For 80 Robux, you gain 3 additional inventory slots, which is a massive upgrade compared to the smaller inventory-focused classes. That extra space dramatically cuts down on the number of trips you need to make between the office, patient rooms, and medical supply machines. Less running back and forth means more time helping patients and dealing with problems. The perk is just as valuable in team runs as it is in solo play, making Head Nurse one of the most universally useful classes in the game. Its only real drawback is that free-to-play players cannot unlock it, but in terms of pure efficiency and quality of life improvements, it absolutely deserves its place in S tier. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.